Hello everyone, this is George, real estate agent, author, and speaker with my lovely friend again.
Hi, I'm Elle, a relationship coach and also a real estate agent.
And today's episode is what are my expectations? Isn't that a mouthful? Expectations, what does that really mean? And what really falls under that category of expectations so the viewers can know what to expect?
I mean, it can be anything. It can be that I expect to see my partner at the beginning 3 times a week. And then as we get closer to each other, more than that. My expectation is my partner to be supportive. If I'm gonna change my job or start a new project, I want my partner to be supportive, to ask questions, to be not involved, but be supportive.
Mm-hmm.
If we have kids, at the time that we have kids, I want my partner and I to be on the same page and do parenting on a level that we are both together. So we are a partner in that parenting part.
Expectations for the man's perspective, and I talk from my personal experience and people that I've been around with. Something that's important for us is we want to feel appreciated by our partners. Some of the people that I know work very long hours, very hard work, and obviously they're supporting the family, they're protecting the family. And one thing that's important for us is being valued and appreciated. And if you don't have that, that starts to become a problem. And then we see the relationship in a different way. Also, as far as when it comes to raising children, a man's job is the leader of the relationship of the family unit. And not to say that they are the ones that dictate everything, but ultimately they do say the final say, unless they're being bad parents and they go overboard and beat their children, because we're not saying that because we don't believe in beating children. But people, our children, they have to be raised in such a way that they know that if they do something, there's going to be repercussions. So I say that a lot sometimes to people, and they got a problem with that, thinking like I'm a bad parent because I do that. But that's the expectation of raising a child, is they have to be accounted for what they do or don't do.
Yeah, there has to be rules.
It's the values. It's the foundation of a relationship, because if you don't set these ground rules now, what's going to happen to the relationships when they're in a relationship if we can't teach them that base foundation? So that's part of the things that are important to me. From when you talk to your clients and you talk about this scenario, are there any particular things that come up that are maybe the partners are butting heads because there's somewhat differences there?
Yeah, it all comes down to the communication part. If they're having a discussion about something that happened and the other party they didn't feel appreciated, it's just because if you're open and saying, you know what, I understand you work more than 40 hours a week, and I'm just I appreciate all you do for the family. And on the other side, I appreciate that you take care of the household. Doesn't matter which role is which, but everybody, the two parents or the two partners are kind of contributing to make that family unit grow and work together and be happy, and then step by step go to the next level. So if one is not doing their job and the other one is doing more, then it would be appreciated to talk about that. So, I did this and I'm expecting you to do this to help me. And the other person can say, you know what, I didn't even think about that. I'm sorry. So let me see tomorrow or the next day, the weekend, we're going to go do this and this. why don't you just go play golf, or you go with your, or why don't you go with your friends and I take care of the kids, so you have some few hours by yourself with your friends. So I mean, there is places that you can have that discussion and give the other person the space.
So I was raised old-fashioned. You know, I'm a first-generation American citizen. My family comes from Mexico. So I saw my grandparents' marriage a certain way, and I also saw my parents' marriage in a certain way. And I love the fact that the men in my life were in charge of somewhat of decision-making and really protecting the family, feeding the family, caring for the family. And then I saw the females being the nurturers of the family, and they took care of the family in that sense of it. And I'm not saying that us today are not able to clean after ourselves, because we do clean after ourselves. We wash dishes, we do laundry, we do stuff like that. But I know I get some pushback from a lot of people, but we have to know our place in the relationship, because there's certain things that a man should do and there's certain things that a female should do. But that doesn't mean that we can cross over to the other side and help each other out, especially if somebody's had a bad day, a rough day, right? We can pick up off where they left off, and vice versa the other way, because it's not about, well, you're doing this and I'm doing, no. It's about how can we help each other out here. I know these are my obligations. I know these are yours, but you had a rough day today. Let me help you out today. And hopefully also when you see me having a rough day, you can also reach over to the side and help me with some of my responsibilities also. So let's just make that clear, that I'm not attacked over here because I'm saying that everybody's got their own place to be at. So what do you think about what I just said, as far as us having, people have certain things to do as male and female, and how we can live in harmony together? What do you feel about that?
I can give you an example. So I had a client that the husband will come home, and they had some issue about the interaction after work. So the way that they resolved it, as we discussed it, was when he came home, she would give him 45 minutes, an hour, to be on his own, to kind of relax, to whatever he has to do, just to decompress, and then come back and they have dinner. And then at the same time, he would call twice a week or to them. Whenever she would text him to, would you bring some dinner, pick up some dinner to come home, because they didn't have time, we were this, that, and I don't.
Yeah.
So they both kind of worked it out in their ways, that, okay, so she didn't have time to cook, he would pick up the dinner and bring home, and he would come home and he had a rough day at work, and then he wanted an hour to be by himself and to just kind of decompress and then come back, and it worked out. So again, communication.
Yeah.
It's all about that. So
see, the first thing for me when I come home is I want a hug. You know, I want my girl to say, look, baby, I'm glad you're home. Thank you for working so hard. Thank you for taking care of us. Thank you for protecting us. Because that's how I feel appreciated. Now, everybody's different, but that's one of my ways. But when I also get home, or when I used to be home, or now if I go home now to my future significant, I want to know how their day went, and if there's something that I can do to make it better if they had a rough day. Maybe she needs a hug. Maybe she needs me to do something. Maybe she needs me to pick up dinner because she was so stressed out all day. Who knows? Yeah. But it's really about how can you make their day better if they had a rough day to begin with. The last thing you want to do is, why isn't dinner made? That's the last thing you want to do, you know? Or or the man comes in the house, they're like, don't bring your dirty shoes in the house. Like, wait a minute, I just came from work. See, so that's the wrong approach. We have to be civil about the conversations that we have
So
That
the
way,
key would be to ask, how was your day?
yes, how was your day? And it's funny I say this because I used to say this all the time when I used to drop off my daughter from school and pick her up for school. I used to ask her, how was your day at school today? Did you learn anything today? And I would be quiet because I wanted her to tell me how her day went, and I really wanted to know what she learned. This is the same thing we can do with relationships. How was your day?
Yeah.
And just be quiet, because women want to vent and men should listen. And sometimes us men, we don't want to listen. We just want to fix the problem. The females don't want you to fix the problem. they just want you to listen.
Yeah.
That's all they want. And it took me a very long time to know that. I should have known that because I have 3 sisters. So I should have known that. But I did learn that with my daughters, that she just wanted to speak out and she really wanted me to listen. And so I've learned a lot from that relationship that I've had with my daughter. So in the future, I know I've been better because I've had the interaction with her, being quiet.
And just to say, nothing's perfect. So it may be a day that he forgets or she forgets or they both forget to ask that question. And it's okay. Then they still can talk about it and say, oh, you know what, I forgot, I'm sorry, I had a hard day. And I just didn't want to ask any question. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And that's the way it is. And give me like half an hour and then I can come back to normal.
Here's another scenario. This is a big secret. So if you want your man to do something and you keep telling him and nagging him to do it and he don't do it, don't ask him again. Do it yourself. He will feel so humiliated and he will feel so stupid that you did it, that he will never let you do that again, because he knows that that's his responsibility. So if the nagging don't work, if you prove them, I don't need you, I'm going to take care of this, guess what? They will do it because they're not going to allow you to do that again. So because George, we know that that's our task.
George, there's another way that you can do that. Just say, I understand you must be busy. It's like a plumbing job or whatever it is, I can hire so-and-so and they can do it. It's no problem. And he may be happy that somebody else can come and do it and he doesn't have to deal with it.
No, I don't want you to spend the money. I'd rather do it myself. You know what I mean? So no, I see your approach, but see,
I'm just saying
you're talking about a very soft approach, but a lot of females in this situation, they don't have the soft approach. They nag and they yell at each other, and that's not gonna work. But if you make me feel like, wait a minute, she just did this without me, like no, that's my job. I'm the man of the house. But I see your approach. It is a nice and sensitive approach, and that does work, because I would rather you ask me that. I'm like, no, baby, I got this, and I'll take care of it.
I mean, in sincerity, you just ask.
Of course.
If you're too busy, not if you're too busy, I understand you come home from work and you're tired, this and that, but this needs to be done because it bothers me, because I'm doing, laundry, whatever it is that has to be done. So I'm gonna call the plumber so to come and fix it. It's gonna take 1 hour and like $200, whatever it is, and it's done. Yeah. So we just don't have to deal with that.
I really love your approach. I really love that soft side of that, and I just wish a lot of more people would do that, and we would all be in better relationships. Is there any final thoughts that you'd like to share with our viewers today? From this topic of today, that may can help them thrive in their relationship, before we close this today?
This is our 8th episode.
Yes, our 8th
of the how to date and who to date.
Yes.
So this is our final one. Basically, I think it comes down to how do you communicate? Not just the communication part of talking to the other person, but how you do it.
Yeah.
And you just said the softness of that. And it usually comes from the female part, to be that soft.
The feminine
spoken.
side,
yes. Yeah. And I invite the ladies to think about that.
Yeah.
How can they be in a relationship with that feminine soft part?
Yeah. So let's keep this in mind with the relationships. Be that soft person and you'll get a lot more things done. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Please let us know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns reach out to us. Information is below. See you in the next time.
Have a great day. Thank you so much.